everybody. Hope you are safe and fine. Today we are going to start with the lesson 5, that is separation of substances. Before we start with this chapter, we should know what all things are we going to study in this. So first we are going to study the mixtures, their types and properties, then separation, necessity and methods, application of separation, solubility and water as a solvent. These are the things that we are going to study. So the first thing that we have is the mixtures. Mixture is what? It contains molecules of two or more substances. That means two or more different molecules, when they combine they form a mixture. A mixture can be of homogeneous type or it can be of a heterogeneous type. Homogeneous mixtures are what? In this kind of mixture, you can't distinguish the components. For example, like a milkshake, tea, in this we cannot distinguish what all things are present. We cannot see them. Heterogeneous mixtures, in this kind of mixture, you can distinguish all the components. For example, fruit salad. In this we can distinguish all the fruits, all the different fruits. So these are the two kinds of mixtures. Next we come to the property of a mixture. First property is any ratio of the constituents. This means in a mixture, the constituents can be present in any ratio. There is no fixed amount of any constituent. Second is they retain individual properties. This means what? That the individual property of any substance which is present in the mixture remains the same. Property does not change. Next is they can be separated by simple methods. That is, all the mixtures can be separated by different methods very easily. These are the properties of mixtures. Now next we come to why is the separation needed. First thing is to remove the undesirable constituents. The constituents which are not needed, they need to be removed, like stones from rice. They are undesirable, unuseful, so they should be removed. Next is to obtain useful constituents. That is, like in the refining of petroleum. The petroleum is useful for us, so we need to extract it from the crude oil. So this is to obtain the useful constituents. And the last one is to obtain the pure substances. That is, from the impurities we take out the pure substance. So these are the needs why the separation is needed. Now, what all methods of separation are we going to study? First is the hand picking, then threshing, winnowing, sieving, sedimentation and decantation, filtration, evaporation and distillation. These are the methods which we are going to study. First one is the hand picking method. Hand picking method is used only when unwanted material is in small quantity. Moreover, shape, size or color of the unwanted material is different from that of the useful material. For example, pebbles, broken grains and insects are separated from rice, wheat and pulses. So this is what is hand picking. Next we have is the threshing. Threshing is the method that is generally used by the farmers to separate the grains from the stalk after harvesting. Threshing can be done by the use of bullocks or it can be done by the use of machines. Next is the winnowing. After threshing we have the method of winnowing. Winnowing is a process of separating light solid particles such as husk from heavier solids such as rice and wheat grains. The mixture is dropped slowly from a height in the presence of wind. The heavy particles drop almost vertically, whereas the light particles are carried some distance away by the wind. Hence, two different heaps of light and heavy particles are formed. So This is what is winnowing. Next is the sieving. Sieving is used to separate dry mixture which contains substance of different sizes by passing it through a sieve. And what is a sieve? A device containing tiny holes. So these are the 4 methods from which the solids can be separated from the solids. Is that clear? What are these 4 methods? These 4 methods are the hand picking, threshing, winnowing and sieving. Next we come to the separation of insoluble solids from the liquids. The 3 methods which are there, they are sedimentation, decantation and filtration. Now sedimentation is what? The process in which insoluble impurities settle at the bottom of the liquid to form a sediment. This process is known as sedimentation. For example, settlement in muddy water, that is, the mud will settle down at the base and the clear water comes on top. Next is decantation. Decantation is the process of gently pouring the clear liquid into another beaker without disturbing the sediments. That means after sedimentation, the decantation occurs. Next is the filtration. It is used when separating a solid substance from a fluid by passing the mixture through a porous material such as a type of filter. It works by letting the fluid pass but not the solid. That means through the filter, the liquid will pass into another beaker and the solid will be remain on the filter paper only. That is filtration. For example, the filters of coffee, even sand. Coffee and sand can be easily filtered. Then the tea we filter, tea leaves remain on top and the liquid tea that we have, that comes in the beaker bottle. Okay? Next, the process is of separation of the soluble solids from the liquids. The first process in this is the distillation. Distillation is a process of separating components where more volatile substance in a mixture are separated from less volatile substance. This separation process is carried out by vaporizing a liquid mixture or by condensing a vapor mixture. Distillation is a unit operation or physical separation method. So in distillation what happens? That we take the solution and it is heated up. The liquid portion changes into the vapor and vapor can be condensed. Next process that we have is the evaporation. In evaporation what happens? The solution is heated and the liquid in the solution turns into the vapor form and solid portion is left behind. Okay? Have the separation of liquids from liquids. The liquids can be of 2 types, miscible liquids and immiscible liquids. The liquids which mix with each other are miscible and they are separated by using fractional distillation, and the liquids which do not mix with each other, they are immiscible liquids and they are separated by using a separating funnel. A separating funnel is used to separate a mixture of 2 immiscible liquids. It has a stopper which can be used to drain out at the bottom. So this is about the separating funnel. Now next we have the topic of solubility. Now solubility is defined as the amount of a given substance that can be dissolved in a certain amount of solvent. Means what? Like if we have water and we start dissolving salt in that. So water is known as the solvent and salt will be known as the solute, and both will form a solution. So the amount of salt which can be dissolved, completely dissolved in that water, is known as the solubility of water. Okay? And because there are very many things which can be dissolved in water, that is why water is known as the universal solvent, because there are many things which can dissolve in water. Now, the next thing we have is the importance of water as a solvent. Now, why do we say that water is important as a solvent? First point, drinking water is a solution containing many dissolved substances. These substances may affect the taste, appearance and toxicity of water. Purification of drinking water is of vital importance. Blood contains many essential substances dissolved in water, such as glucose, hormones, oxygen, minerals and waste. Oxygen must first be dissolved in water before it can diffuse into an organism's gas exchange system. Many chemical reactions occur faster if substances are dissolved in water first. This increases surface contact between the reactants. So, what do we say? That any reaction which is taking place in your body, or any reaction which is taking place outside, any chemical process, all these require water as a base which can make it faster, maximum of 10. Water is again known as a universal solvent because it dissolves more substances than any other liquid. So we can say, because of all these properties of water, that water is very important for the human being and for the life processes. So in this chapter, what all things have we studied? We have studied about the mixtures, then about the different methods of separation in between the solids and solids, solids and liquids, and liquids and liquids, and the importance of water as a solvent. The question answers are given in the description box. Kindly go through them, complete your work till we'll meet for the next session where we'll completing the next chapter. Okay, till then, stay home and stay safe. Thank you.